Welcome to the Sister Lighting, shining a light on millennials. Hi, I'm Alyssa.
I'm Elaine.
And I'm Carolyn. And so in today's topic, we're going to be talking about productivity and relaxation. So we know everybody has the same amount of time each day, and some people spend it relaxing, and some people spend it being productive. So we'll just discuss, like, how do you ladies spend your time? What do you consider productive? What do you do to relax? So let's just chat about that.
Yes. Okay, well, this past week I've been watching a lot of Marie Kondo's shows on Netflix. I forgot the exact title, but watching all those people clean out all their stuff, it's just so inspiring because a lot of them, they have way more stuff than me. But after, working with Marie Kondo, they organize their life. And it's so true. In her book, she says that you can only organize your life after you've organized your own personal space. I'm already feeling very accomplished. So that's how I'm relaxing right now.
Wow. Did you, so what did you do? Did you end up just reorganizing, or did you get rid of a lot of stuff, or?
I think it's just getting rid of, and also finding out what I really need. In Marie Kondo's books, she uses like spark joy. For me, that term is a bit it seems a bit cliche, I guess. So I'm thinking, well, it does make sense because you should only keep things that are useful. So I'm finding that very helpful. Keep it to the bare minimum of what you need, and of course some extra.
I feel the same. I mean, I feel like going off what you're saying, Lisa, like for me, I think something that I did want to work on quarantine, now that it's like you have so much more time, I feel like in order to be productive too, like you kind of need like a clean and organized setting, because it kind of affects your mindset and your mood too. Even though you don't notice it, I feel like subconsciously it has an effect on you. So yeah, I think having like a cleaner space too, I realized like for me was very beneficial. But yeah, I think during this time, like being by being productive, but like the things that I would do that I find like productive are like doing things that I like doing, and things that like kind of enrich my mind and like grow my mindset. So like I watch a lot more YouTube videos, like maybe learning on just anything, whether it's like a new hobby. Like I took up macrame too, and like also I want to learn more about stocks and investments, so I kind of watch videos like a mix of that, just like learning like anything new that just kind of like enriches your mind. For me, I feel like that I consider that to be productive, and I feel like my definition of productivity kind of changes, like, and has changed in quarantine. Like I have a more like more, I guess, like more positive perspective on what is considered productivity.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I didn't really categorize what I meant by what I'm doing to be productive right now and relaxing. But I guess me cleaning out my stuff is both productive and relaxing at the same time.
Yeah.
Besides working on my job.
Is that productive and relaxing? No, I think for me, like productivity, that piece, like what I'm talked about is like what I'm doing productively, and by relaxing it's just like just watching TV, like meditating, and just like really simple, like simple stuff, like just going for a walk and like talking to my friends, talking to you guys. All that's like really like relaxing and calming for me.
Okay. I agree with Elaine. Like, same for me too. I feel like for me, productivity is something where I'm like learning something new, like Elaine with her stocks and stuff. For me, it's like, learning skills for like jobs, or like, or working out, or just working on something that needs work. I think that's what productivity means to me. And then for me, relaxing is something that doesn't really need any brain work. It's just like watching TV, or like taking a walk in the park and just like relaxing, like you don't really need to do any work. So I feel like that's what I do to relax. Or like just scroll my phone too. I do a lot of scrolling on my phone, and that's how I like unwind my day.
Yeah, Instagram.
Yeah. So like when I'm doing that, I'm like, yeah, that's relaxing because I'm not really. It's just mindlessly doing something.
Yeah, like I feel like your brain, like you don't, it doesn't require as much like brain power.
Yeah, yeah. But sometimes like I do feel like guilty, like relaxing too much. Um, like I feel like we should be doing something productive versus like mindlessly like just scrolling or just watching people like see other people doing all these things, like achieving so many things at like my age, and I'm like, oh, I should be doing like constantly doing something to improve myself instead of relaxing. Yeah. So how do you guys feel about that?
That's a very good point. So I also over this past week, I happen to be listening to an audiobook right now. I'll show you girls. It's called Do Nothing. I think you
Yeah.
can see it, right? Do Nothing by Celeste Headley. I'm
Okay.
listening to it right now. I'm pretty much 78% of the way. It's pretty good. She was in her book, she talks about how in our culture, ever since the Industrial Revolution, our human society has been like the way we generate is by time we spend on the job is how we make money and how we support ourselves. Before, when we're all like, well, most of us were like farmers or something, you can't really, it doesn't matter how long you stand in the field, you're still going to get a certain amount of food, and that's that, right? So once you're done with your work for the day out in the field, you go home, you spend time with your family. But once the factory opened and a huge majority of the population went to factories or like offices, that's when the more hours you work, the more you can generate. So that's when the bosses, the heads of the, capitalism,
Mhm.
they push the average worker to keep on working. And they made it like really patriotic. They started like putting out these propaganda and making it patriotic, or being a good Protestant or being a good Christian was to work. So they actually had posters back in the day talking about, kind of like drilling into people that the more you work, it's actually more patriotic, or you're more a good citizen of, the country. So we need to snap out of it, because we should all be aware that we're being brainwashed,
Yeah.
and of course be productive, but try not to feel guilty when you're relaxing.
Yeah, I agree 100% with what you're saying, Alyssa. And like going off of what you said, like you learned from the book, I feel that, yeah, in society and growing up, like that was always a value that was instilled in us. Like, oh, like you have to be productive,
Yeah.
and related to productivity also means like success. How much time you're spending being productive. Like, yeah, like time is money. All this like emphasis on productivity and how like it's so important. But what you don't learn is also that it's so important that you also have a healthy mindset and have a healthy mental health. Because let's just say you're like, oh, you think that, oh, I have to be productive 100% of the time or all the time, because I used to feel that way too.
Yeah.
Or think like, okay, any free time, like, it's free time. So like, what should you do? Okay, I should study. I should like learn something new. I should be reading. I should be doing like X, Y, and Z, all this stuff. But me thinking like that all the time, I realized like I was really unhappy, and it even like my productivity level probably dropped during that time, because I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I have to do all this. And it's more like I need to, I have to, versus like I really want to, like, and I feel like it's really
Yeah.
helping me. So like, yeah, I felt like in the end, it's almost like it kind of, it went in the other direction. Instead of being very productive, I feel like I became less productive, and I didn't have as good of a mental health. And I think what I learned is not to be so hard on myself, and that mental health also contributes to your level of productivity. So a healthy mind also means higher productivity.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we need like a good balance of the both because I guess too much productivity can also lead to like burnout.
Mm-hmm.
Like we need a good balance of both productivity and relaxation. So how do you balance the both of them?
I guess we can make schedules. Of course, don't make it so rigid where you're stressing yourself out just to follow them. Right?
Yeah.
Just be like, oh, okay, well, I like well, mine is I always walk at 7:30 now. That's like my time. Anytime 7:30, I walk. 5 out of 7 days of the week, that's what I do. So
Really good.
obviously, the schedule should be flexible, and that walking time is me time for me.
Yeah, I feel for me, yeah, like we discussed, I feel like there really needs to be a balance between both. Yeah, I agree with you. Like, what if you're like, okay, I need all this time to relax, and you set the schedule and doesn't like, there's like stresses you out to like have time to relax or something.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, not really, yeah, being flexible about it too. Like, I think, like for me, what I realized, let's just say if I'm being productive, like I have this app I downloaded on my MacBook called Be Focused. So really what it does, like it gives you a little timer. So like 25 minutes, you could be productive working on something. And then, oh, okay, 5 minutes, like you get a break. But you can kind of set the time of like how much time you want to be productive and a little time to relax in between too. So for me, I feel like it's easier for me to be like slightly more organized because I feel like if I just say, oh, yeah, I'm gonna have so much time to relax, so much time productive, I kind of just like don't even end up following it. So I need like some form of like a little structure to like my relaxation and productivity time. But that's more for like if I'm working on a task throughout the day. But given so, like I kind of like tell myself, okay, like after like me being productive for X amount of time, like, oh, okay, I can relax for X amount of time. So kind of like I try to treat it as like maybe like a reward system. And I feel like that's been helpful for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I try to do both every day, but yeah, like Elaine said, it's really hard for me. I feel like I've been like relaxing way more than I should be, so I need like some kind of structure. So yeah, like I feel like I need that help with balancing.
Yeah, I feel like
I think you should be happy about relaxing more now.
no, I know. I think like yeah, society does not put enough emphasis on like relaxing and just like being happy because I feel like that like just being like a healthy and happy version of you like also leads to like I don't know, I think mentally you just feel more like because you're relaxed and you feel good, you feel more, it becomes like a positive cycle. That's how I see it. And then afterwards you're like, oh, you actually feel more motivated to want to be more productive or like want to learn or do all these stuff that you find actually important too.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like really important. Yeah, so it's really important to have a good balance of both productivity and relaxation for our mental health. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in on another episode of The Sister Lining. Give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.